had a good rest last night and ready to appreciate as much as I appreciated yesterday, and I think you did as well. Some of our new speakers that are here today. We have a really exciting day, a really important day, I would say, when we talk about clinical trials in Canada. We're starting off with a really interesting presentation, which I was going to get into, but I'm just wondering, did we review anything from yesterday? Do we have time? No time. Okay, just today. Okay, watch for the video. So actually, all of this is being recorded, you may have noticed, and you will have an opportunity to see any of the sessions that you missed online in probably a few weeks, and we will be producing a little report from this as well. So today I'm pleased to say that we'll start looking at some really interesting experiences on new technologies and how they may be harnessed in clinical trials, including the use of artificial intelligence. We have two amazing programs that we're going to talk about. The Accelerated Clinical Trials Conference, and PJ Devereaux is with us today, who heads that up. He's sitting in the back. You're welcome to the back. So PJ is going to talk about that, and we actually just had in Quebec City the Accelerated Clinical Trials Conference a few weeks ago, and so some fantastic new developments there, as well as Dr. Jean Bourbeau will be speaking today about our training program, which we talked about a little bit yesterday, on how we can really increase clinical trials by training people so that, throughout the country, so they can work maybe in more distant sites, some new types of trials, and in fact, as I mentioned yesterday, we're even working as a group ourselves on bringing in patient preference training into clinical trials, how we can do those types of studies. So that's going to be really exciting as well when we talk about the clinicians and researchers of the future that Rebecca and Joanna talked about very passionately yesterday about. We're also going to hear from a caregiver expert in process improvement. And Andrew, I spoke to, I met him actually online, and it wasn't even a dating program. But we met on LinkedIn, and I was so intrigued about the articles that he was talking about, how process management could be used to improve clinical trials through the use of artificial intelligence and so forth. And he'll bring his personal experience about, as a caregiver, going through clinical trials in Canada as well. And then, if that wasn't enough, there's more. So we'll hear from Health Canada, both Division 5 and 8. You saw Adam yesterday doing a little bit of a presentation, so we'll find out a little bit more about the approval of trials getting started in Canada, the no objection letters, and then from Melissa Hunt on Division 8 on about what all our pharma partners are very interested in, the notice of compliance and the conditional notice of compliance, and what happens when a drug submission is made. And that, as many of you know, is close and dear to our heart because we have projects, our hackathons, where we look at reducing the time from regulatory approval until a listing agreement, and now we'll be looking at even the times from a listing agreement until patients actually receive the drugs. And then we will hear from Megan Bell, and talk about the renewal at CIHR of SPORE, the patient-oriented research, and try to understand where that is going and how we can play a bigger role in funding of patient-oriented research in Canada. And then we will close. We're closing a lot earlier than yesterday with a fantastic panel on how we can work together really to benefit all patients. How do we bring this all together? And we're going to have some of our leaders, Mike Wong, of course, Andrew, Stein, Rebecca, Dr. Rebecca Orr, and Terry. So it's in all sides, the patient perspective, industry, and the researcher clinician part to it. So welcome. Remember, this is a very interactive audience, and this is the point of this conference. It's not just about presentations, it's really about interacting so that everybody can figure out how we can make clinical trials more accessible in Canada and how we can get more investment actually in Canada so that patients benefit from it as well. So thank you, and I'll hand it over to Anne-Marie so we can get started without further ado. Thanks so much.